So there are contentious issues, cost implications. We've had a little bit of chat about costs already. Effectiveness, well, we've seen that alternatives can be and are effective. Political lethargy, we've covered that, and that, oh, it's the way we've always done it, let's stick with it, that sort of thing. And invasive species. So they're all the contentious issues, they're all covered in the document. But have a quick look at costs. So pesticides themselves aren't free. So this table up here, we got from a number of Freedom of Information requests to find out what councils have been spending on pesticides. This is not for 1 year, this is a 2-year period. It was from January 2014 until January 2016, so 2 years. That's the litres of glyphosate used by the council, and that's the money they spent buying them. You know, that's a lot of money. That's what the top one, Hull City could have bought 2 foam stream machines for the amount they spent on glyphosate. So people say they're cheap. Well, they're not always cheap. They come with a price, and that's an example of some of the amounts of money that some authorities are spending just on glyphosate. So costs can be got around. You know, there are comparisons to be made when the figures are available. A lot of councils are very, very cagey about giving away the details of what they spend on pesticides and even where they use them. And we think there should be more openness and transparency about that in general terms. So this is from Glastonbury. This is some analysis you did in Glastonbury. This is correct, isn't it? Yep, great. That probably is good enough for me. So, but, yeah, exactly. But roughly. So this is, a look at some of it. So yeah, actually, alternatives are cheaper, or even close to it. Even some of the more expensive ones aren't that much more expensive. And then we got some figures from Germany, which are older figures, I believe. But again, what they show is that alternatives don't have to be more expensive. They can be, it can be fairly comparable in price. And even if it's more expensive, there are other non-financial benefits to going pesticide-free that can't necessarily be measured monetarily. And again, it's about being able to communicate those benefits to the people that are just looking at the pounds and pence. Invasive species, well, we had a look at them. There are obligations to deal with some invasive species. We've got the invasive species potential for invasive species control orders under the Infrastructure Act. And, people want to get rid of them anyway. And how do you deal with them? Well, we had Ubiquitec, for example. We've got stem injection that was already mentioned. We've got foam stream, which aren't up there because Fraser already talked very eloquently about how they deal with invasive species. So there are a number of ways to deal with invasive species that can either not involve the use of a herbicide or could use a system that dramatically reduces the amount of herbicide being applied. So again, that's not an excuse not to act, although it's often thrown up as one. So we've got within here the outline that covers all those areas that I've just looked at, but we've also got a toolkit in the back. And there are a number of documents in there that we hope will prove useful for people down the line, whoever they are. So we've got examples of framing a pesticide policy with some examples of actual policies, including the one, and I'll name it, it's from Haringey. Yeah, we aim to reduce pesticides, that was it. Not really enough, but at least it's some mention of the issue. We've got sample examples of a notice of motion. We've got the Glastonbury's in there, we've got Brighton's in there, we've got one that went over to Oxford. We haven't got the one from Cornwall yet, but that's a fantastic one. A sample report to Cabinet for officers to deliver and say that this is why we think we can go pesticide free and how we think we can achieve it. A nice section on how to organise a trial of alternatives within your area and some of the things that you need to consider when developing a programme and a plan. We then have a list of all the pesticides currently used in the amenity sector, and then a section on how you can inform and let the public know about what you're doing. So they're all in the back. But I mean, in conclusion, I think that this sums up what we've been talking about all day, really, that pesticide-free is an achievable objective. However, everybody's got to play their part in it. Everybody has a part to play. So we have a part to play, the general public have a part to play, councillors have a part to play, council officers, contractors. We are all in this together, actually. We are all in this together. And I think if we can all work together, if we can look at how we can do that strategically, then we can affect real change. Council officers, as I've already alluded to, need to be supported by their councillors and also by the public. And I can't stress this enough. And I am genuinely delighted that the contractors who are here today have come today. You have a vital role to play in actually delivering a pesticide-free future. I mean, it really is. You really can drive things forward if you want to. So let's try and work together. Let's realise what we can all actually do together. And hopefully this toolkit will be a way of doing that, but also this conference will enable you to go away and think about, well, actually, how can we do this? And we can maybe have future conversations and take this forward and achieve what we all want to achieve, which is a pesticide-free future.